Hi everyone, my name is Simona. I work at Catalyst in the Supporter Success team, and today we're here at the Catalyst Award Conference and Dinner. I'm about to have a coffee chat with some of our award winners here, and so why don't you all introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Heather Wagner. I work for CIBC. I'm the Senior Vice President and Region Head for our Central Canada region and co-executive sponsor of our Women's Network.
I'm Charlene Theodore, and I'm the Chief Inclusion Officer for McCarthy Tetro.
Hi, I'm Vivien. I am the Global Social Sustainability Manager and Head of D&I at JDPs.
Great, so since this is a coffee chat, let's start with the first question, which is, what is your coffee order?
So at JDPs, we are all about coffee and tea, so it couldn't be a better fit of a question. For me, I enjoy a coffee as a cappuccino in the morning with a little bit of sweet.
I love coffee, but I've been trying to cut back on the caffeine. And so my favorite coffee order right now is a decaf Americano.
So for me, Cafe Americano, full caffeine,
yes.
with a pump of sugar-free syrup.
So let's start with some questions. And I would like to ask you, maybe we can start with you, Loris. What are some benefits of inclusive workplaces?
Well, I think for me, inclusive workplaces, first, from a personal perspective, really enables you to just be your best, right? If you don't have to think about maybe being a different person or putting some barriers to who you are in your identity, I think you can really just thrive and focus on that.
Charlene, what would you envision for the future of inclusive workplaces?
When I was in law school in Canada, my law students were contributing pro bono research work for the Supreme Court same-sex marriage case. And that was 20 years ago. I didn't know that, I could not have envisioned that 20 years out of law school, I'd be Chief Inclusion Officer at a firm. And so I know that we do not know what the future is, but so it's important to build a strategy that can respond to the changing face of talent.
Thank you. And we have seen a lot of change is happening also right now. So it's good to be prepared. And so, Heather, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to be an advocate in their organization?
It's a really great question. I would say start now. Start in the role that you're in. There's always a way for you to advocate for those that may not have a strong voice, advocate for what you really believe in, and in turn, our team will really feel like there's a sense of belonging overall.
How do you measure the success of inclusion initiatives within your organization?
We have several ways of measuring. Some of them are quantitative and some of them are qualitative. The ability and kind of legal and privacy frameworks around collecting data are different in every country, and we're a Canadian law firm. But we did build about 5 years ago a kind of privacy-first, bespoke demographic data collection initiative. So whenever anybody joins our organization, they get a survey that allows them to, answer or decline to answer questions about their identity, whether it's gender, race, or disability, etc. And so we did one big survey, and now the survey gets updated every time somebody joins the organization, so we know who our people are in real time. And so we don't rely on one touch point. We look at various sources of data throughout the year to look at how we're doing in our work.
What are the most common challenges you face in your work?
Probably one of the most common challenges is to really be able to prioritize. I think a lot of organizations have lean teams, and we are one of them. So we really have to make sure that we prioritize on the right action, so we enable our champions in the best possible way around the world to be able to drive progress.
Heather, I have an interesting question for you. What is your personal mission?
My personal mission, and I think I actually live this every day, is to make our team really feel like they belong. And I believe if you can create that in your team, you will get the best work out of everyone. They will be engaged, inspired. We will be that much further ahead, and I believe that will also translate into business results.
And so now I would like to hear from every one of you for the last question, which is, what is the best piece of advice that you ever got?
So I think one that comes to mind for me is don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. One of our values at JDPs is entrepreneurship. And I think there's no entrepreneurship without risk. So sometimes to challenge the status quo, I think you need to take some risks and not necessarily ask for permission.
For me, it's not advice somebody told me, but it's things that people did for me. So following in that example, and that's really like when you get to a place to reach back and help others get to where you are. I come from a community, I'm a Black woman, where there's still a lot of firsts and there's a lot more, there's not enough of us in the places in leadership that we need to be in, specifically in corporate spaces. And so rather than tell me, people have shown me, right? When they advance and they get a benefit, there's always been somebody to reach out to me and further me in my career. So it's the best advice I receive because it's what I do for people as well.
For me, it would be progress, not perfection. I would say early in my career, I wanted everything to be perfect, and I still really strive for that today. But we're working in a very fast-paced world with ever-changing environments like what we're experiencing now. So I think as long as we feel like we're truly making that progress every day, that's what really matters. And I would totally agree with what you're saying. It's how we make people feel, not what we say.
So thank you so much for joining us today and for being here, and congratulations on your winning initiatives for this year, and we will see you next time.
Thanks so much for having us. We're honored.
Thank you.